Hey, Steve Magnante here at High Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts with the first year Chevy Camaro. Now, of course, by this point in time, everybody knows what a Chevy Camaro was. But when this car was new in 1967, there was no predecessor. There was no history on the Camaro nameplate. And again, first year model as seen here. This is one, not just any Camaro. This is a Super Sport Rally Sport. SSRS. Rally Sport means hideaway headlights. Super Sport means heavy duty suspension, and at the very least a 350 under the hood. And the special thing about these two was the fact that the Super Sports were the only Camaros that come with a high performance hood. Here's the thing, these ice trays don't really do anything except collect ice in the wintertime, joking. But again, they didn't make cold air or anything like that, but they sold cars, they sold Camaros. And by 1969-70, cowl induction systems would be available on Camaros over the counter. And this is not that, but it looks fantastic. The humped hood we see right here, that's a styling trait that would be emulated on many Chevrolet products, the full-size Chevy Impala SS, and of course the Camaro SS RS seen here. Another thing about the SS was the front, the raccoon bandit stripe right here, which is painted on. And again, the SS logo is right here to remind everybody around this is a Super Sport, not just a basic Camaro Sport Coupe. Under the hood of this one, we'll find something special. And again, we see the 350. And again, 1967 was the first year for the 350. It wasn't available in other Camaros in 1967. You paid extra for the SS 350 package, and there's more to it than that. Let's look under the hood and have a peek at what we have. And under the hood, there it is, the Mighty Mouse. Now, why do we call it that? Well, the Mouse is the nickname that hot rodders have given the small block Chevy. It's small, but big. Of course, 1967 was also the first year for the 396 big block option. But the beauty of the small block is that it's much lighter by about 110 pounds than a 396, which doesn't disturb the front rear weight bias. So these small blocks are really good in the power to weight ratio, great handling on these things. And this one here has been hopped up a little bit with an Edelbrock aluminum intake manifold, no harm there. It's an unknown size 350 cubic inch type small block engine with a Holley 4-barrel carburetor, a Mallory electronic ignition conversion, and headers, which are a classic add-on to any V8 engine of any description or any make. With that said, here they are on this classic hot rod Adams, aluminum intake, 4-barrel Holley carburetor, headers. It's all good. This one is a manual disc brake car. No power booster. That's okay though. You get a good workout driving this one. And again, no power steering. There is a power steering unit on this one, which is good. And that makes it a little bit easier to turn. But again, with that small block on the nose of this one, it'd be a lot easier to turn and do a 3-point turn in than a 396 big block powered Camaro SS. 1967 was a year of many firsts for the Camaro. First seen were the rally wheels. They would have been 14s from the factory. These are aftermarket 15s with more modern rubber. Nothing wrong with that. But the center cap we see that says Chevrolet doesn't disc brakes. That's a reminder, hey, there's disc brakes on this car. You couldn't get disc brakes on a Camaro in 1966 because they didn't make Camaros in 1966. Very popular add-on. It's an optional upcharge, and I believe it was standard on the Super Sport. So that's a cool thing. They made sure these cars would stop as well as they would go. Another thing too that was new and seen only in 1967 was the wind wings on the driver and passenger door. These guys right here would be replaced by Astro in ventilation in 1968 and beyond. The bummer with the Astro ventilation was it was decent, but these things here you can direct the airflow on your legs or wherever you want them to be just by simply opening this right here and pulling the window out. You've got instant airflow into the car. It's also good on humid days for defrosting the windshield. These cars do have heaters and defrosters, but these things add an extra cherry on top to the cooling of the inside of the car on a hot day. Inside this one here is equipped with bucket seats and a center console, and the Turbo 400 automatic transmission. It's a 3-speed, no overdrive here, but that's okay. The Turbo 400 is a tough transmission found under SS 350 power plants, behind them I should say. The Power Glide was not available with the SS 350. The Power Glide is a 2-speed automatic. Kind of boring, but that's the interior you want to see. Bucket seats and a center console. Now, something about these cars too is that this has a 12-bolt rear axle, and with all engines over 350 cubic inches, Camaros had a torque arm on the passenger side above the rear axle. You can kind of see it from the back, and only on one side. The point of that was to tame axle hop. With the extra power, these could have some pretty bad axle hop problems with the standard monoplate springs, but these have multi-leaf springs in the back and a torque arm, and on a correctly restored car, and that's what we have right here. Another iconic Camaro styling touch which debuted in 1967 was the D80 trunk lid spoiler, inspired by Trans Am SCCA race cars and used by Mark Donohue and the bunch. These do a lot of work. In fact, at about 90 miles an hour, they exert a couple of pounds of downforce on the tail of the car, and they look fantastic. Now, these are a big part of the Z28 legacy for years after, although the D80 could be had on a standard Camaro if you wanted to pay a little extra. Now, this one is a rally sport, the RS, and one thing that makes these unique is the fact that the reverse lights lenses are not in the taillight lenses, but rather down here on the valance. When you put it in reverse, these light up, and that's only on rally sports. Pretty cool little car with a lot of great details baked in, a lot of first-year items, and again, first year right here for the Camaro, or Little Pal in French. And it can be your little pal if you come here to High Octane Classics and check out the pictures in the photo gallery on the High Octane Classics website.